Everyone thinks they're doing fine. The house is bigger. The phone is newer. The car smells expensive. And yet, most people are one surprise bill away from panic. That's not a personal failure. It's a system problem. Because today, it's entirely possible to feel rich while quietly becoming broke. Not poor, not struggling on the surface, just structurally unstable. And the system is designed that way. This matters right now because for the first time in modern history, lifestyle has become completely detached from financial strength. You can live like the top 20% without owning anything that actually lasts. The result is a strange psychological trap. People look wealthy. They talk wealthy. They spend wealthy. But under the hood, the numbers don't work. Let's slow this down. 30 years ago, feeling rich usually meant one thing. You had slack, savings, time, margin. Today, feeling rich means something very different. It means access. Access to credit. Access to subscriptions. Access to monthly payments. Access to the appearance of abundance. You don't need money up front anymore. You just need approval. And approval is easy. Phones are financed. Cars are leased. Houses are stretched. Furniture is paid over time. Vacations are split into installments. Even groceries can be delayed. Nothing hurts immediately. That's the key. The system removes friction at the exact moment where judgment used to exist. And humans, being humans, mistake comfort for stability. Here's how the mechanism actually works. Most people earn income once a month, but they commit expenses permanently. Rent, car payments, insurance, subscriptions, debt. By the time the paycheck arrives, it's already spoken for. This is where the illusion begins. Because as long as the paycheck clears, life feels controlled. You're not falling behind. Bills are paid. Cards still swipe. Accounts aren't empty. So, the brain concludes, I'm doing okay. But mathematically, something dangerous is happening. Your fixed future is growing faster than your flexible income. Every new monthly payment reduces your ability to absorb shock. Not gradually, exponentially. One missed paycheck doesn't hurt much if your fixed costs are low. It's catastrophic if they're high. Yet the system encourages the opposite behavior. Banks don't care if you're resilient. They care if you're consistent. As long as you've paid before, they assume you'll pay again. That's not risk management. That's pattern recognition. So credit expands. Limits rise. Confidence grows. And this is where the irony sets in. The more successful you look, the more fragile you become. Because lifestyle inflation doesn't feel like inflation. It feels like progress. You didn't buy a luxury car. You upgraded. You didn't overspend on housing. You invested in comfort. You didn't take on debt. You optimized cash flow. Language softens the reality, but the math doesn't care about the story you tell yourself. Here's the uncomfortable part. Most people don't calculate wealth. They calculate affordability. Can I make the monthly payment? That's the question. But wealth isn't about payments. It's about ownership and optionality. If your income stopped tomorrow, how long could your current life continue without selling something or borrowing? That's your real financial position. For many people who feel rich, the answer is measured in weeks. And the system quietly reinforces this behavior. Social media floods your feed with curated normalcy. Everyone travels. Everyone upgrades. Everyone is doing well. But what you're seeing isn't wealth. It's leverage. The algorithm doesn't show emergency funds. It doesn't show debt ratio. It doesn't show anxiety at 2 a.m. when the numbers don't line up. It shows consumption. And consumption is easy to fake. There's also a timing illusion at play. Debt lets you pull future income into the present, which makes the present feel abundant. But that abundance is borrowed time. You're not richer. You're earlier to your own money. And the bill always arrives later when the excitement is gone. This is why people in their 30s and 40s often feel trapped despite earning more than ever. Their income rose. Their lifestyle rose faster. Their obligations locked in, so every raise disappears. Every bonus evaporates. Every increase becomes maintenance. They're not moving forward. They're running in place at a higher speed. The broader economy depends on this behavior. Consumer spending drives growth. Growth requires confidence. Confidence requires people to feel rich. Not be rich. Feel rich. So the system is calibrated to keep things smooth on the surface. Low upfront costs. Long payment terms. Minimal. Immediate pain. The discomfort is delayed and individualized. When something breaks, it's framed as personal mismanagement, not structural design. You should have budgeted better. You shouldn't have overextended. But overextension is the default setting. Even inflation plays a quiet role here. As prices rise, people don't downshift immediately. They bridge the gap with credit, which preserves lifestyle, while eroding net worth. From the outside, nothing changes. From the inside, resilience collapses. This is why financial stress is so widespread among people who appear comfortable. They're not irresponsible. They're optimized for the system they were placed in. A system that rewards appearance, smoothness, and short-term stability. And punishes margin, patience, and restraint. Here's the part no one likes to hear. Feeling rich is not a reliable signal. In fact, it's often the opposite. True financial strength is quiet. It looks boring. It lacks drama. It doesn't rely on constant income to survive. It doesn't panic at small disruptions. It doesn't need to prove itself, which is why it's rarely visible. The people who actually are financially secure often feel behind because they're not participating in the same consumption race. They don't look impressive. They look underwhelming. And that's uncomfortable in a culture that equates spending with success. So we end with a question worth sitting with. If your life feels rich today, is that because you've built something durable? Or because nothing has gone wrong yet? That difference doesn't show up on social media, but eventually it shows up everywhere else.